you see their eyes changing, you see their demeanor changing. You think, wow, I have the power. I am the power. God is not within me, I am God. And wow. And then the difficult journey starts. What is balance? Balance is not only positive. Balance is the middle point of negative and positive. Mm-hmm. So we need, as beautiful people like Bill Gates, we need these people to show the other side what it is. And they're on that side of the spectrum. We are on this side of the spectrum.
Hello. Welcome to the Mark Attwood Show. It's Mark Attwood here, Adventures in the Cosmic Sea. I'm just checking it's recording because this is take 2, and it's a bit noisy in here. So I'm just doing a bit of an experiment. I've got into skimmed milk powder, but I was like, it's pasteurized. I don't know where the milk's from. Has it got hormones in it? So I've got raw organic milk in here in my dehydrator, and I'm attempting. So you see that? It's going to take hours, but I'm attempting to make dried milk powder. I'm just looking at my desk. There's a lot of interesting. I really need to tidy up. It's a bit messy. Look at this. This stuff. This is called tea. This is from Anthony D'Alessandro in America, who makes these incredible CBD products. If you've not seen him, go and look up the King of Plant Medicine, either on my Substack, Rumble. I don't think I put it on YouTube because they don't like medical misinformation. They don't like that for some reason. I'm just going to switch microphones. Should be able to hear me now. Let's just check that's all right. No, let's just switch. There we go. Should be coming on. Bit of a crazy day here in Ireland. I'm just switching microphones. There, we should be on this one now. I've got some guests. They'll tell me if this is too noisy in the background. But yeah, I made a video this morning about what's been going on in Ireland, because if you don't know, there's an iPass centre in Dublin, and there's a lot of people there that are illegal immigrants to Ireland, and one of them raped a 10-year-old girl in the care of the government 2 days ago. And then, rightly so, people got out on the streets, and they were protesting last night, and then it kicked off. And a police car was set on fire. And then the guards, weirdly, started pepper spraying and ramming, not just people, including a man in a wheelchair and some children and some women and some old women. They also sprayed the mainstream media with pepper spray, which is a step in a direction I've never seen them do before. And I made a video about it this morning because there is a root problem. There is a root cause to all of this that nobody seems to be addressing. I made the video this morning, and I'm still deciding whether I should put it up, because it is the last taboo, not just in this country, in the world, to expose what's really behind the crazy shit, because we're in a spiritual war. But as I keep saying to everybody, and by the way, if you're watching from Connecting Consciousness and you watched the talk I did last night, thank you so much for all the emails I've had and everything. That was really good fun. Thank you very much for hosting me on that last night. I really enjoyed that. It's very strange doing when you talk into a computer like this, because it's just you and a screen and you're aware of everything else in the room, and there's no feedback. So you don't know. This is why my jokes are no good. This is the actual reason why. It's not because I'm not funny. It's because my jokes are just no good. No, it's not that. It's because the audience is not reacting. That's what it is. Yeah. But anyway, in the continued quest for staying healthy and being in a healthy environment, I'm just looking around on my desk here. I've got organic castor oil here, which is amazing, because one thing I'm about to do is release something for the eyes, for the eyesight. You've seen me do the Tesla device on the eyes. That's been working really well. My eyesight's definitely improving, but the secondary part to that is castor oil, organic castor oil mixed with pearl powder. And I'm currently experimenting between the difference between fresh water and sea pearl powder. I think in the sea you get about 3 pearls in a what do you call it? I can't think what they're called now. You know, those shells where pearls go. I think there's 3 from one in the sea, and then the freshwater ones you get about 10. But the difference between the minerals in both obviously is going to be higher in the sea. So I'm just trying to work that out because there's a lot of confusing information online about that. Another thing that I'm experimenting with is this wild yam comfort cream. Comfort cream. Yes, I think it is a bit to do with erections. I'm not sure, but it's not just that. And I got that from thanks to Dave Poland, because he was Dave who filmed our Rebels Across the Pond. Ryland Media on Twitter, if you want to follow Dave. He's an amazing guy. He rang me up and he said, "You want to get some of this wild yam? It's glaze, selling out." So I did. But that was from a Barbara O'Neill talk that he was doing. I have no affiliation with them. I don't even know what website, but if you search for wild yam cream, it's incredible. What else have I got here? I've got an empty packet of CBD gummies. I think we've got a few loads left at Lift 5D. My trusty LifeWave patches. If you haven't got, there's links below for these. If you haven't tried them, try them. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, this is part of my eyesight rehabilitation. Can you see? I don't know. It's quite hard. It's quite hard to do a show because I don't know. I feel like Stevie Wonder. But anyway, Stevie Wonder's not available, so I've got 2 Dutch guys. Peter, how's it going in the Netherlands?
Yeah, very well. How are you, Mark? Thanks for having us.
I've got the voice wrong, haven't I? It's we're in the Netherlands. We are Hans.
That's a lot better. That's a lot better.
You have to go. You have to go a bit deeper.
You have to go deeper
on the Dutch. Yeah.
You're refined.
Look over the dikes. You need to look over the dikes.
Look out for the dikes. The lesbians.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what we call lesbians in England.
Yeah.
No, we know.
We do speak a little bit English.
Yeah, we knew that.
Well, in the Netherlands, it's all normal, isn't it? Hi, my name is Hans. This is Peter, my husband, and this is my wife.
Yeah, we were the Dutch were the first to sort of agree on mixed marriage, or not mixed marriage, but
same-sex marriage.
Same-sex marriage, and obviously we try to be as inclusive as possible.
Which has always been a good thing.
It's been a good thing because Amsterdam and Holland has been seen as very liberal, but yeah, they're doing their best to separate everything and make everybody.
What's interesting about the Netherlands is, I mean, I've been going to Holland for 40 years, and I love Holland. I love the Dutch. I love the food. I love the architecture. I love Amsterdam. I love the canals. You were telling me beforehand that Amsterdam's getting a bit pissed off with all the tourist trade. It's crammed. I can't imagine people getting stressed. I mean, it must be bad if people in Amsterdam were getting stressed.
Exactly.
No, it's literally if you come from the central station, you just hear all these, you hear all the rumbling of all the suitcases rolling over. I mean, it's literally swamped. It's swamped.
It's jam packed, and all the Dutch, Amsterdam people, they really they've seen the city change in the last 15 years.
Well, but people actually live in the city, don't they? I mean,
yes,
they live in it. It's not like they're on the outside and it's empty in the middle. They've actually got apartments and houses in the back streets, and they're gorgeous, those houses as well, aren't they?
Yeah. They are in the bedrooms where you hear the suitcases running over the streets.
Yeah.
So you got the cobblestones and the canals, and then you have like 10 tourists coming with these suitcases going at 6:30 in the morning. But they're also obviously all in the tram, and like Amsterdam is one big theater. It's one big hotspot. And if people ask what should you do in Amsterdam, nothing, just be there. It's one big museum. It's culture. It's one big melting pot. It's 24/7. It's fantastic to experience it. So it's.
Well, my daughters are going to go and visit soon, and I've given them a harsh word. I'm going to tell them not to put their suitcase over the cobbles, and I've told them if they go into any of those cafes, take it very gently, because even the last time I was there, I think I was last there about 7 years ago, and do you know what upset me is that every taxi was a fucking Tesla.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? And the guy was just, no, it's the government. We have the Green Party and we all have to drive the electric cars. And I was
Yes.
like, well, where are the bikes?
Holland is like with what's it now 18 million people. They actually think they can rule the world. So we are always the first to do all this stuff, and it's just amazing. I don't think there's a lot of people left here that even have open fires in their houses. I mean, any new house that is built, you're not allowed to use gas. You know, it's incredible.
Now we have very funny rules on new stuff, but still, it's a lovely little country, and yeah, we're still up front. And but actually, you should come and visit our healing center as well.
No, I'm going to come.
Yeah,
I genuinely love Holland. However, you do have, I mean, like the UK, you do have a very satanic royal family.
Yes.
And you do have, I think it was a Dutch prince, wasn't it, who started the Bilderberg Group in '58?
Yeah, Prince Bernard. Yeah,
Prince Bernard, and then you've got Queen Beatrix, and then you've got human hunting parties and all of that as well.
We are very close to Castle Drakenstein, which is Dragonstein. It's like
that's where Beatrix lives. So.
Yeah, that's where Beatrix lives.
Is she still queen?
No. We have a king now, King Alexander.
Yeah. What's he like?
He's okay. He's quite mellow. He did a good thing. He married an Argentine beautiful woman. So now everybody.
Of course, he's from the Netherlands. Of course, he did.
Yeah. So no, he's doing his best. I mean, it's actually Holland. The king is still the head of the government. The only king in Europe that's still the head of the government. So it's
apart from UK, where they pretend that he's not.
Yeah, okay, exactly. But this is where all the laws are all being passed by him, but it's all under under the grace of God. So you can really turn around and say, well, under the grace of God, I would like to know why you have the right to do that. But anyway, that's a very different subject.
Well, no, it is interesting though, because we've all grown up under this satanic rule, and it manifests in different ways. And I think the laws and stuff that you have there's a lot of those creeping in here. You're like this part of Ireland, you've been here. I was actually thinking of you too this morning because I was down by the lake and I was looking at the islands. You remember you looked at those?
Yeah, we do remember
the metal islands.
Yeah, and you felt those up. Yeah, and so I was having a little giggle, but I was thinking about, this is the land of turf, right? And this is the land of fires, the same as you're just saying. And you cannot get. It's harder to get it because they don't want you burning anything now. And I had an architect look at my house a while ago because the heating system here is shocking. And I was like, well, what are you guys putting in? And she said, well, we get paid to recommend this new type of heating system, which is terrible. And then you've got these, I mean, I'm bringing this up because we're going to talk about like healing space, healing homes. And, this is all a massive part of it because you've got, I can't remember what they're called when you've got a house that's completely sealed. There's a name for it, which
but where you can have open windows and all that. It's like crazy. It's
there's a name for it, and a friend of mine built one in Scotland about 8 years ago, and something home. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. But how can that be healthy when you've not got fresh air coming in and you've not got a fire? And
incredible.
Yeah, you just die.
But just getting back to Netherlands, because this is really, I mean, we don't want to be here. If we really
but where can you go? Where can you go?
Well, but this is the place where you have to start the new system.
Exactly.
So we're and this is one of the places to start.
Well, especially in a toxic place like Europe, which is full. It's nice for you when you see a map of Europe. You see everything, all the rivers coming out of Holland.
Into Holland. We are really the garbage.
We are the most dense populated country per square kilometer. That's the reason why we're on average the tallest people of the world.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, that's because we have to grow up because we have limited space.
I kind of knew that was a joke and I was walking into it, but it is interesting because the Dutch are tall. You are tall.
Yeah, but also the women. I mean, the women are like, and there's lots of Dutch women. I mean, obviously they are the most beautiful girls in the world, but because they're tall.
Yeah, I agree, Mark.
But
Oh, I know the Dutch girls are gorgeous, but you know,
Yeah.
I just
no,
but they've been
it's
lobbying.
just because he has a Dutch girl as a partner. That's all.
Yeah.
So do you. So.
Oh, do I also? Okay.
But about 20 years ago, they want to get us off the gas because we have a few gas pockets in Holland, and we was our only resource we had. So we pumping gas. He used to work for the company.
I used to
I
rape Mother Earth. I used to rape Mother
I know.
Earth.
Well, I know.
I can honestly say that.
I've heard you fart after dinner. I know you're very gaseous.
Yeah, exactly. So we had very cheap gas. Obviously, the whole Russian story, Norwegian story about gas, I'm not going to go into it, but they want us off the gas and they want us on the electricity.
Yeah.
So we get electricity on cars, we get electricity on cooking, on heating, and stuff like that. And now, for a new company to start in an industrial area, they sometimes have to wait 3 to 5 years to get power because there's no more power. That's how you ruin an economy. You make sure that you got all the people with plugs for their cars, plugs for everything. And then they say, well, we are short on electricity, so the electricity price goes up. We don't have any gas anymore, so you can't cook. You're not allowed an open fire. And there you go. So now we can bring up shortage again, fear again, etc., etc. So
take care of yourself.
This is why I mentioned the Teslas in Amsterdam. It was like, oh God, even the Dutch are falling for this nonsense because, you know, we had EVs when I was a kid. It was called a milk float.
Yeah.
And it was great, you know, but it worked. It made sense. Yeah. And 100 years ago, they had EVs that had 1,000-mile range.
The first cars were actually electric.
Yeah. So here we are with this 250-mile range in and it's 80,000 euros instead of the 20,000 for a Renault 4.
It's all digitized.
So. I'm still driving my diesel, and I'm pumping as much CO2 into the atmosphere as I can, and as long as I can.
We need CO2. We need CO2 to grow.
Yeah,
100%. Not only that, petrol engines and diesel engines are much sexier than an EV, and I remember when a friend of mine, good friend of mine, I went to visit him in London, and we got into his brand new EV Mitsubishi. And this guy was completely aware of everything and fairly awake. And I said, "How do you feel?" I said, "How do you feel about these? You still put these to your ear?" And he said, "No, because the EMF, the battery, da da da." I said, "You sat on top of a fucking giant lithium battery. How do you feel about that?" And he was driving it, going, "Oh God, never crossed my mind."
Oh, really? That's amazing.
And I was like, "Well, this is that's the brilliance of the mind control."
Well, that's one of the things that I remember sitting right here, and there's this 5G tower right out there, and I was, I know what 5G does to water. You can see all the proof. But until one day where I knew all this stuff, everything's divine. Everything is divine. Okay? So. And that's what you learn very quickly when you wake up. You are responsible for your own world, and everything is divine. And I thought, hold on a second, that 5G tower, and this is a toughie for me, is divine.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than being mad at it because it's being put there and it's hurting, it's not hurting me, but it's hurting other people, I should give it love and respect. And from that day onwards, I literally, because the laptop is obviously designed for your lap, which has a similar effect as sitting on a huge lithium battery. I always felt it. I always felt it's just irritated down there. Until that day where I thought, I just have to give it love and respect. And it just went poof, it was gone. Something to think about.
No, I'm glad you said this because this is bringing up a ton of stuff. So, for example, I have friends that will go, no, it's fine. I can drink this Diet Coke so long as I wave my hand over it and change the molecules. And I'm like, not so sure. And it's the same with the healing center that we've got, that I explain to everybody. These are bridges. You can do all of this. You're just
Yes.
you're just not there yet. So
Right.
this is to help speed you up to get you there so that you can start to do it. And
those are directions to go to.
No,
because a lot of people ask you as well, what should I do? How can I do this? How can I be more conscious about my environment? How can I be more conscious about my life, or about what I'm drinking or eating? And yes, you can have a lot of influence on your waters, literally. I mean, if you're nice to your water, the water will be nice to you. And whatever you eat, you give it love first, and then you eat it.
Yeah.
And then actually, it's more important. That this is Chopra 30 years ago when he came to America. He said, it's more important who you have your dinner with than what you eat.
Hang on. Sorry, I'm going to have to pull you up there.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra, Oprah Winfrey's mate. Deepak
Chopra.
Yeah.
He came in genuine, and and slowly he became a commercial whatever, and he got
part of the system.
He got spinned. And that's why
how do you think that works, Peter?
How that works?
How do you think that works? So someone like him, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, he's part of the spiritual limited hangout crowd.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like Oprah, who you know, who's as evil as they get, but you know, could affect millions of people in a ring fence, limited hangout, spiritual kind of aware place. But in amongst all of that, she's doing what she was doing. And it is interesting because there are some, I'm often having this conversation about how many of those people were truly bad or truly good. And it's a bit like the Hollywood, you know, question as well. Are they all bad? Can they all be bad? Or do you have to sell your soul to get to that level? Can you get there and then turn it down and then disappear like Val Kilmer or someone like that?
It's a process. If you ask me personally, it's a process. So these people come in generally. They are authentic themselves. For part they play, because everybody plays its ego part. So if Chopra would have been wise, he would have stayed in India and helped India, because there's much work to do in India than in the US. But however, he went to a college there and he gave some lectures, and everybody was like, hey, fuck, that's a nice insight. And so he got lured. And obviously then, hey, do you want to open a center? Yes. Well, here's $50 million, build a center or whatever. And that's when these people get the stream. Same with Oprah. Yes, genuine, but the end of her shows were like an audience, 200 people in the audience getting a car of $100,000 each. And that's just like, she was giving away all these presents in these shows. Like, I mean, look under your chair and you find whatever was sponsored.
There's fuck all here.
Yeah, no, well, we know there's some kajujas there, but there's
my hat's here. I found my hat.
There you go.
They get all into the process. They all get greedy. They all get the status. They get the power. They think they're powerful. They're meaningful, and then obviously the true meaning takes off, and now they need to defend the system. That's similar to all the Klaus Schwab classes. They are all prepped. This is what we need to do. This is how you keep the system going, and that's why they cannot go back. They're jam-packed in that brainwash of we are doing good. And actual fact, they think they are doing good. You ask them and they go like, no, we're here to save the world. Like Bill Gates, he thinks he's saving the world.
No, he doesn't.
Well, maybe in his way he does.
He is brainwashed like that.
But he's saving the world for all the people that are chosen and that are elite. That are.
Well, I think the real big Bill Gates got hung in India in 2013. But even if it was him, he knows he's trying to kill people. I mean, his father was one of the founders of Planned Parenthood.
And they think they're doing a good job.
They invented the word. Well, yes, I know. Yeah.
So this is the point. I mean,
I get it.
And we still need it, huh?
Even Hitler was thinking that he was doing a good job. You know, it's like, okay. But anyway, these are very interesting conversations.
It comes down to the real story is what is balance? Balance is not only positive. Balance is the middle point of negative and positive.
Mhm.
So we need, as beautiful people like Bill Gates, we need these people to show the other side what it is. And they're on that side of the spectrum. We are on this side of the spectrum. So that's where the balance is.
That's not for you to say.
And that's where the stream is. And
Yeah,
we are
you see,
we are the river.
I get that 100%. And
Yes.
I'm a bridge, right? So some people leave messages going, "Why didn't you talk about that?" I'm like, because I'm not trying to reach you. I'm trying to reach
No.
them
Yeah,
with
exactly.
something that might bring them over the bridge. And the big problem you've got with the likes of Gates and all the world leaders and Klaus Schwab and everything is that compared to the average person, these are billionaires, private jets, traveling the world,
Yeah.
you know, and dictating to people. And
And they are.
the people feel powerless against that. That's it's the awakening to the power. And in fact, I'm just gonna share this with everybody watching, because if you guys want to understand what we've just talked about is really well explained by another Dutchman called Ronald Bernard.
Yeah. We know.
Yeah. Do you know him
Yep.
personally?
No, we
not
never
yet.
met him. No.
Can you find him and get me an interview with him?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know if he's still in Holland, but that interview came out 6-7 years ago.
Yep.
And it was a brilliant insight into the seduction method that the Illuminati have to get people in. And he was going to parties and thinking, "Oh, we're having a good times," you know, with
exactly.
And they're all dressing, and every party got progressively
and I'm getting more power and I'm getting more money.
Yeah. So he's got
you dress differently.
Yeah, and then suddenly he was like, he just thought they were all crazy, you know, dressing up like Satanists, not actual Satanists, until they asked him to kill a baby.
Right.
And then he said no, and he reversed, and then he did those interviews. Well worth watching if you're watching this. Because he's a Dutch hero as far as I'm concerned. Because in the kingdom of repentance is the biggest thing. You know, it's not too late. I say this. I've been saying, I've done videos over the last 5 years saying, look, ultimately we're going to have to forgive them.
Yes, and that's part of the plus and the minus. So you need them to be as bad as possible.
It's the same way. It's the same thing with getting inner balance. Is that a lot of people that become awake, become more aware, they only look at the love side, at the light side. But but getting into balance is about looking at your dark side, and that's the hard work. That's the and literally forgiving those people, whatever happened, forgiving those, and that's the only way to get back to balance. But you need to get into so there is a function. This is where I get back to everything is divine. It's like I use my body quite often as a metaphor, and it's like I'm the pinky in the universe. I mean, just keeping it simple. Marky Attwood is the thumb. Oh, you're bigger, Mark. Wow.
Shorter, but powerful.
Shorter, but powerful.
Very handy.
and in native.
Oh, I'm the middle one. Huh?
Yeah, he's the middle one. Actually, there is a reason why it doesn't matter. So, but the metaphor is that, I mean, Putin is my arse, right?
Okay.
And my arse is very, very important for my body. And the fact that the whole thing is that in tribal wisdom, you get to find your medicine. Who am I in the universe? What's my job? What am I here to do? And the funny thing is, I don't have to convince Mark of anything. I don't have to convince Putin of anything. I don't have to give my energy in order to get the body to work perfectly. All I need to do is to be the best pinky I can be. And it was very liberating for me, because I don't have to convince anyone. I don't even have to. Yes, you want to help, and this is what you're doing, and this is what we're doing. But you can only help if you're being asked to help.
Well, that's the big lesson, and also, you know, what the whole what you were saying, Peter, about the light. Just that. Yeah. That's another limited hangout. That's the new cage or the new age.
Yeah,
is you know that was brilliant. You know, and it was only through going and being involved with new age stuff that I realized what a crock of shit it was, even though a lot of it was true.
Right.
And
And
then
at the time you felt like, wow, and we've all been there. We've all been there.
We get a lot of people in here in our healing center that experimented with drugs or with ayahuasca or psychedelics or whatever, and they all done it 5 times, 1 times, 10 times. They go to Spain or whatever, and they go in a retreat for 4 days. They take the stuff and they open the veil, and they say, "Wow, this is all my opportunities." Blah blah blah. And then Monday morning they're back in the office, and they think they've woken up. No, you get addictive to that, and the addiction is based on fear. What am I missing out on? And what I like in your stories a lot is to say, open your eyes, because this is heaven. You choose it to make it heaven, it's heaven. I'm positive. We are very, very positive about the future. Why? Because the only ones that really will survive are the ones that sit still and enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
And make it into heaven.
And be yourself. Be your authentic self. Be an
100%.
asshole, whatever. But be yourself and go out there. And then obviously we all have our things. Like, I mean, your fight for children.
I'm totally done.
You're done. You can go. But it's the fight.
He's got a golf match.
Yeah, exactly. So
He's enjoying the ride.
Yeah, and the fight to keep our children safe and to give them a proper way to experience the world, and not through the dogmas and not through studying whatever needs to be studied.
No,
and
being.
That's what that is our agenda, is to indeed your bridge fund for us. It's also to be ready when people come to us and say, okay, tell me your story. And we almost every consult we start with, what is your relationship to your father? What's your relationship to your mother? Answer that question first, and then we'll start talking. And and that makes it for us one big party every day when people come in here, and you see their eyes changing, you see their demeanor changing. You say, wow, I have the power. I am the power. God is not within me, I am God. And wow. And then the difficult journey starts, because then you have to look at whatever you thought was true. Now you need to go into your dark side. So hang on. Hang on. I'm not that of an angel. I am the light, but there's still a lot of baggage to be dropped. And we see it as fun. And you see it as fun.
Magic. I see it as magic. It was yesterday we had.
He's a wizard, but
no, but yesterday we had some people in, and it was, spontaneously. She actually came over to thank me because I had done something for her, and she actually turned out that she was sent here because she had quite a lot of baggage that she had to get first of all know about. And it was a wonderful, at this table, we have this, double egg-shaped table, oval table. And this is where it always happens when we help people to help themselves to get rid of traumas. And it was such a spontaneous thing, and it was wonderful. And that's the magic, and people have difficulty in being. Just be, get up, do whatever you feel, and don't get distracted by Mr. Trump or Mr. Putin. And I mean, your work is very important indeed. People need to be aware before they realize that they're not themselves.
Well, I had this argument over many years, and just talking about what happened in Ireland the last 2 days. For some people who are out in the streets facing off against the police, listening to this philosophy would stress them, and it's because it's there for them, and that's really hard for people to hear, especially when it comes to the abuse of children, which is why I had this argument with somebody that I did ayahuasca with about 15 years ago, and she said to me, she was telling me off for she was quite influential, and she said, you've got to stop talking about all this stuff on Facebook. And I was like, but people need to know they're being murdered. The governments are murdering. This is 15 years ago. The governments are murdering them. Satanic ritual abuse is real. It has to stop. And she said, no, this is an inside job. And I said, I know it's an inside job, But 99% of the fucking people haven't got a clue about that, and they need to know what the enemy is first in order to step towards that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I fully agree.
Yeah.
No, you created a nice hangout in that sense, and it's important to allow for a view and to change view, because it's like you say, in the end we have to forgive them, because we have to. Yeah, ultimately we have to forgive them, but we can't start with forgiving if there's no consent of what you've done wrong.
It's it's not really the same thing, but it's part of it. It's like I am now grateful that I lost my first child after a week, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But now I can see I'm so grateful, because that was my first lesson in what is important, and it's joy and health. That's it for me. But it was a horrible experience. It's a very dark experience, but yet it brought me, and now I see that it was, that's what actually, so I'm grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it.
Well, yeah, I understand the same here with all the dark things I've been through. I'm very grateful to all of them as well. It's interesting you brought up ayahuasca, because I happened to watch a clip of Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson talking about ayahuasca last night, and Alex Jones, even if whether they're the original ones or not, I don't know, but he was saying that he's spoken to hundreds of people that have had ayahuasca experiences, and the ayahuasca has told them, you need to cull the human race, you need to become a hybrid, it's basically, he was making out that ayahuasca, the spirit of ayahuasca, which is a real thing, because I've experienced it many times, was actually recruiting to build Satan's army. And I was watching this last night going, well, that's a completely different experience to what I had, because ayahuasca gave me my biggest forgiveness lesson. It pulled me up off the floor and put me in front of a painting, and I was dancing to this 5D painting, which was all around me, going forgiveness. But it was forgiveness for it was hours and hours, and only when I truly understood what it meant was I allowed to move on to the next painting.
Right.
Yes.
Which is a completely different story to what is being put out on a platform that has 100 million viewers. And it's like, wow. But again, it's all divinity. It's all part of this spiritual journey. And the other thing that I got from ayahuasca hanging around people was understanding the Hopi prophecy of the eagle and the condor, which is effectively this time we're in now.
Yeah.
Which is the integration of the darkness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, and it is not so much when you go through an experience like that, and it's revealed to you the beauty of it, but also the intensity to it. And the thing, like you're mentioning now, ayahuasca is now becoming mainstream, and the pure ayahuasca is sort of nowhere to be found, only with some shaman in, I would say, Mid-America and South America. Because it's not available in these quantities that it's being used now. So now something popular, go for an ayahuasca trip or whatever, go to a steam hut, blah, 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 now becomes mainstream. And now the demons step in and say, hey, hang on, we can use this to influence people. We can influence through, I would say, a bad trip. And if you ever had a bad trip, then, and whoever is listening, you have a bad trip, you have a bad trip. And so you can change your consciousness on a subconscious level through this ayahuasca, and you get reprogrammed, and then you're in real shit to change that back and to get back to reality again.
That's interesting.
Authenticity.
Yeah, because I've been postulating a theory that there's no such thing as a bad trip for years, because there isn't, because everything's exactly as it's meant to be. So it's not a bad.
I agree.
It's an unenjoyable trip, but it's not bad because it's exactly what you needed at that time. But that presupposes that the ayahuasca hasn't been infiltrated by demons.
Exactly.
Exactly. And mine wasn't. But I do know people that have had.
But I would still say that everything happens for the right reason at the right time. And anything that you encounter here happens for you at the right time and although many times, most times we can't see why it's happening, but I do believe that, yes.
Well, that's a good deep start to the chat. Let me show you something. Look.
Yeah.
Empty bottle.
Yeah.
It's empty.
Empty
Where are your balls?
Well, that's why I did this, so that I gave you. See, I just tossed the ball, you hit it, right?
Yeah.
I've upgraded.
We need the balls in here.
Actually, nowadays I'm actually putting it in the copper. Yeah.
I've upgraded.
Yeah, very
well
good.
Done. Well done.
Terrific.
Yep. No, it is.
That's good for your
Hold
for
the
everything.
balls up. If you've got any balls there.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
no, I'm just because there's people watching this who won't ever see.
Oh, they would know what it is.
So just
very
hard to see.
Summited balls.
Hold it closer to the lens.
There you go. Yeah.
A bit closer. Go there like that.
Yeah. Okay. It's just a ceramic bowl.
See, the Dutch guys have very small balls. Everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Very hard balls.
Now it's just amazing, Mark. Actually, nowadays I put this in my coffee. I actually put 2 to 3 balls in my coffee in the morning because one thing about coffee is that there's poison in coffee. Yeah, one of the reasons that a lot of people like myself, if you drink coffee, halfway the coffee, I have to go. I mean, I really have to go, and it's your body saying, "Hold on a second, what are you putting into your body? This is crap. This needs to be crap. So it needs to go out." And we got a.
There's going to be loads of people now. Go, coffee's good for you. Coffee's bad for you. Coffee's good for you.
I know. It's all fine. People need to make their own truth. But the nice thing about the QELBY balls was, and this was a video we got sent by Mr. Lee, who's the inventor of QELBY. That amazingly, if you put the balls into a carbonated bottle, right, it'll chase out the carbon, the CO2 within like 5 minutes. It'll be without carbon. Even if you put it into a beer, you don't want that as a beer drinker, but it literally transforms the fluids, and it takes out toxins, and that happens within minutes. And this is something that we didn't know like a year ago. So I literally use it for my coffee. It becomes wine, but it becomes rounder, it becomes fuller, and the toxins are no longer there. At least they are neutralized because I don't have to go to the bathroom straight away. So it's just amazing.
So
we're learning more and more about it.
The evolvement is this little glass stick where we put the balls in.
Oh.
And then you can steer your drink.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And then you can put it in your wine or in your coffee, your tea, and you just steer it for like 30 seconds.
Just got to explain to the viewers who've sat here for 40 minutes going, who are these Dutch guys?
Yeah.
If you've not seen Hans and Peter before.
This is Hans and this is Pete.
Yeah.
We connected, I think, via the consciousness of the water. That's how this works. Yeah. And if you watch my show regularly, you'll know that I'm constantly going on about water. These guys know an enormous amount about water. And those balls are called sommetids, and they are ceramic balls that have gone through a proprietary process from Korea, if I'm correct. Professor Lee, Dr. Lee, was it?
Mr. Lee, yeah. Mr. Lee. Yeah.
And they basically emit chi energy. So a lot of people that have seen these guys before have bought, and we've sold them at Live 5D Health. The balls go in this bottle. They charge any bottle, which is why I've moved to the copper because I don't like plastic. Although it's a very nice bottle, it's just I'm trying to get plastic out of my life completely. And it charges the water. It turns it into easy water, which is the third stage of water, which is H3O2. Correct. And that is the water that your body actually has inside it, which is why you should always drink mineralized, charged, living water, which is what we've got in the center. I've got in my house, which is what I keep telling you guys watching to do. And these guys have helped with that, with the sommetids, especially because also with the sommetids, we mixed a load of powdered sommetids, if you didn't know, into the paint that's in the walls in our healing center, which means that it's emitting chi energy, and it changes the Wi-Fi and the 4G and the 5G. It harmonizes it. You can't get the same signal in there that you can outside. So you are, and one of the reasons we're having a chat today is because it's to talk about that whole building a healing space, whether it's at work. I mean, workspaces are notoriously unhealthy. Most people understand 8 hours under fluorescent lights in air conditioning with toxic carpets and with toxic chemicals everywhere on the desk, with the screens and the EMFs I mean, these are
ear thing.
literally
and
killing
doing
people.
something that you're not supposed to do most of the time, but because you're
Well,
doing it
I
for
mean,
the
it's
money.
literally killing them, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
And then
Slowly,
and most of these people,
progressively.
no offense, I've worked in an office like that. I've owned an office like that, and I did my best, and I'll come back to that, to make it a healthier place. Plants, for example. I mean, just fill an office full of spider plants. You've got rid of most of the EMF, and you're full of oxygen. It's simple. Get a little I used to have a little trampoline in my place and tell everybody to get up every hour and just do a little bounce just to keep their lymph system going. I used to have this is when I employed hundreds of people. I had a fruit juice, not a fruit juice, a juicer. And I'd have one girl whose job was it to make sure that everybody got a fresh juice that morning. And then I had an investor in the business who said I was insane and told me to get rid of it all.
I'm just trying to think of you as a boss. That's all. So I'm just having.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. The boss man.
Do you know? I'll tell you a funny story.
You drink your juice. You drink your juice. You do my work. So.
No, I used to get the management round. I remember getting the management team round to my house because I had a big office at my house, and I get them round, and I was showing. Do you remember the film Thrive?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one made by Foster Gamble.
Yeah.
That came out. Zeitgeist came out.
Yeah.
I think this is about 2010, 2011. And I'd get them all round and show them this stuff. And then I thought they were going to wake up because I was trying, and I'd give them all a copy of The Secret, even though The Secret's full of shit because that was on Oprah and they missed it. But I was trying to teach them all the law of attraction. I'd get them all to come to a hotel once a month on a Sunday, and then I'd get them all. I got this great book by Simon Sinek. If you're watching this and you run a business, this is a very good thing to do if you've got problems with your staff. It's a book called Start With Why, and it's an amazing process for anybody to go through. Why do you come to work? And the answers you get are hilarious, and then you have to dig into it. And actually, that work. At the time, most of the people that worked for me thought I was a nutter.
Yeah.
But the ones that went through that process are still running that company 15 years later. And I got an email from a kid who was 19 at the time working for me. And I got an email about 3 or 4 years ago saying, I just want to message you because I just want to tell you that when I worked for you years ago, I thought you were completely insane. But I since realized you're not, and I've been following everything you told me to do, and now I'm rich, and it's all down to you.
Now I'm rich.
I've got a beautiful girlfriend, and I live in my dream home. And I was like, wow. But it's hard.
Mark.
It's hard to be a pioneer though, because pioneers get shot.
Yeah.
But if you only help one people on Earth, then you've already got. It's.
Well, I used to say that, but I want to help millions.
Yeah, well, the same here. We want to help billions. This is. I want to
help trillions. I want to help trillions, actually. Yeah.
We literally
the whole universe.
Yes. Well, we literally explained to that woman who was very much into, that's bad, and I said, well, listen, and if you're ill, then I'm ill. So this is what it is. We're all connected. We're all the same part of the same thing. So,
but we're individual within it.
Exactly. We have our own function within it. I go back to the body again. So, but it's literally, if someone in China is sick, then I'm sick. So we are looking to heal ourselves. That's essentially what it is.
Well, let's get back to healing spaces, because when you told me, I think it was when you told us about the the Sommeted ball bath, which is basically a big bath full of hot water and thousands of these balls in.
Right.
And then I saw the testimonies and I saw the results of people that had gone in there with, what's that big cancer of the blood called? I can't remember, but leukemia. Yeah, and then they do the bath every day, and 30 days later they were sorted. And
it's a bit longer, but
a bit longer, but it made sense on an energetic level to me.
Yeah.
And Gary, which is why we were straight away. Let's get it on the, because we were decorating the place. Let's get it in the walls. Let's see what happens there, because we want to. So that kind of knowledge is brilliant to share, and brilliant that, people that watch this show can share it and get the bottles and stuff. But you and I have talked extensively over the last year about the idea of building a healing home.
Correct.
And I rang you in the summer and said, well, I'm thinking of maybe buying a plot of land and building one from scratch, which is a big job. And maybe I will do that once we're through this. I don't know, because we're all interested in the same thing. The water, the geography.
Yeah, we need to set examples. We need to set the
exactly.
experience.
Yeah, where you can say, come here and experience it, because that's ultimately what it is. People need to experience it in order to understand it. It's just, there's no two ways about that.
Well, I'm not sure. I think that we need understanding before the experience, because if you don't have the understanding, you're never going to understand what. I mean, I'll give you an example.
I wasn't saying that it needs understanding, but ultimately you need to experience it. But
no, I totally agree. I'm just thinking how, because getting ideas like this, firstly, the problem is cost.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
These summative balls are not cheap, and there's a reason for that, because there's a limited supply.
They have value. They have value.
They have value, but the thing is, there's I'm just thinking of the people who sit with poverty consciousness, and I'll give you an example, right? So we have storms here in Ireland that frequently destroy the fences, right? You get up in the morning, your fence is down. I'm looking at a broken fence right now from a storm in January. Now,
wasn't one of your kids, was it?
Fence. I said fence.
I said, wasn't it one of your kids that
smashed the fence?
Yeah.
No. My kids are very well brought up. Thank you very much. Well, they're a bit naughty like their dad, but they're good. Anyway, fence got knocked down here. Okay, so I'm sat there going, what's the problem with these fences? They go down. I mean, the winds do get very high speed for short bursts, and then the fences fall. And I'm just going to talk you through this, because I think it's a good lesson for going forward with what the problem is implementing things like, because I was speaking to somebody yesterday who's wide awake, who buys water from the shop instead of water from the tap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's the same. It's just as bad, but they haven't gone deep enough. Yeah. I spoke to somebody this morning that makes magnetic jewelry, and I rang them up and I was like, I'm just interested, because I might want to wholesale your jewelry because it looks very pretty. But can I ask you a question? She said, yeah. I said, do you understand about, or do you advise people on the polarity of the magnets and where they go on the meridians of the body? And she said, she paused, she went, no, I've never heard of that.
Never heard of it. Yeah.
And she's running a magnet. So, and what she said to me was, I just know it works. I said, but do you understand that if you put the wrong polarity of magnet on the wrong meridian,
it works the other way. It works the other way.
It's going to work the other way. She never heard of it. And they're award-winning business. But it's that level of consciousness, right? So same with this fence. I got a fence, so I sit and look at it, and I'm like, well, what's the problem with fences in Ireland? Firstly, they all rot because they're not protected properly.
Yeah.
Second, and they don't have proper
and they don't have the right wood.
Well, I'm coming to that. So, and the third thing is that they're all solid. They're mainly solid fences. So my friend, I said, look, this is what I want to do. I want a wind-proof fence. So we're going to have an in and out fence where the wind can go through it.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus, I've never heard of that. And it lives in the west of Ireland. So I said, the second thing is, I know an old farmer's trick that will preserve the wood for 100 years, which is using used motor oil.
Right.
And he said, shit, I've got loads of that. I said, well, good, put it on this fencing. Let's get it up. So I've just reinvented fencing.
Yep.
And what I realized was, and this is the issue, he's a great guy and he's got a lot of experience of building and everything else. If he has a client who says, right, I want a fence here, he'll just say, well, go and buy it from this place. He doesn't care what you buy.
No.
And so at every step of the process, you've got this issue where the lack of consciousness or the lack of thought means that it's a cascade of bad decisions.
And the lack of quality.
Precisely.
Because out of quality comes quantity, right?
Yeah, but this relates to like a healing space, because especially when it comes to housing, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got an entire system out there with health executives and health and safety people who are actually working for Satanists that are implementing stuff. That's bad. Like if you sit in a cafe and the girl comes over and starts spraying fucking chemicals all over while she's wiping the table next to you, she's just poisoned you before you're about to eat your breakfast.
Yeah, don't put on your skin what you don't want to eat.
But she has no idea. She thinks she's cleaning the table.
I know. Yeah.
That's why we have a sanitizer that is based on natural products. So you can still clean your kitchen tops. You can still clean everything, and it doesn't harm you.
But in a cafe, they
don't know.
The health executive in Ireland would close you down for not using their approved stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. You've got all these micro decisions.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so this is where indeed start with your home. Start with your home, and even better, start with your bedroom.
Well, let's
Your
talk about
bedroom.
let's talk about it, because I've covered toxicity loads of times on here. We're all, suffering toxicity. That's the problem. Nobody's sick. They're toxic.
Yeah.
So the bedroom is a great place to start. I'll shut up and you tell us what you would do with your bedroom, or what you've done with yours.
Well, the funny thing is, because you've known us now for 2-3 years probably, and we were called Dragonfly. We are called Dragonfly, and we started with water. The most important thing, we still say, the most important thing is to put a water vitalizer on your mains. It doesn't have to be ours. I mean, we have a very good one, but you're showering and bathing in. When you're doing that, you're taking on more water than you are through drinking. So and it goes in unfiltered. So if it's chlorinated water, it'll go right into your pores. If it is if the memory of the water is bad, it'll go into you. So start with the water vitalizer. That's how we started. And over the past 4 or 5 years, we've collected all these different products which we resonate with. QELBY being among them, the Mecco sound system being on.
I'm just going to show everybody who doesn't know what you're talking about. So this is live5dhealth.com, everybody. You go down here, there's Gary showing you our sauna, but just here, that is me looking terrible with that very machine there.
Right.
Yeah.
So
now that
Look,
just explain what that does very quickly.
Okay, so there's 2 aspects to water. There's vitality. Yeah, our water sits still in pipes. It literally dies. Water is a living entity. It is why we all live. So if you put water to rest, if you put it still, then it loses its vitality. That's one aspect. The other aspect is the memory of the water. Water, it takes on everything, all the characteristics of everything that it sees, and you can demonstrate it with various methods. We don't have to go into that, but this is the main thing that people don't understand, is that a lot of people are now vitalizing their water, but it's much more important to change the memory of the water, because even if you put it through a reverse osmosis system, which actually water doesn't like to be pressured. I mean, don't do to water what you don't want to be done to yourself. Then the main thing is to wipe the memory of the water. And what this device does, this is called the water swirl. It's a German device. It vitalizes the water, but more importantly, it actually also wipes the memory of the water. So any water that comes in that has the characteristics of the toxins that it sees, anything, plastics, all that stuff, the memory holds, the water holds that memory. It wipes the memory, and then it infuses the memory of the water with, there's a core that it runs over, and that's been infused with the memory of about 100 mountain spring. And this is how you get very bad water coming in, and like half a yard or half a meter later, you get spring water coming out, which is completely vitalized. And that's what you should shower in. That's what you should bath in, and that's what you should drink in. I mean, literally, it will also take care of the chemicals like chlorine smell. Chlorine smell disappears in a good vitalizer. It's still got chlorine in it, but it's been neutralized. So that's the very first thing that we started with when we were starting Dragonfly. Now we were sitting together like 2 months ago, and we were going like, okay, because a lot of people ask us, who are you and what do you do? And we just suddenly realized we were called Dragonfly. And what does the Dragonfly stand for? What does the Dragonfly stand for?
Transformation.
It transforms from a larvae in the water to a beautiful, beautiful animal that can fly in ways that we cannot explain with normal physics. It's literally free energy, but okay. So we're Dragonfly. So what we do now, what we say we do, is we help people and businesses to transform. And we do that with inner space, which means finding your biggest traumas, getting into balance. And the outer space is what we're talking about. Making sure that your environment, where you work and where you live, to make that energetically so high that healthy people stay healthy, even though you're being exposed outside the house to all sorts of stuff that we just talked about. But when you're at home, and particularly the bedroom, because that's where you spend 10 to 12 hours and that's where you recover, if you make that into a high energy environment, and you got all these tools like vitalizing the water, making the energy in the room, using the paint that you were talking about. We even have blankets. You can actually put a blanket on your bed, under your bed sheet, and and there's been amazing results with that. So using the Mecco sound system, using a natural sound system. So you have all these modalities that you can then, and it depends on your wallet. Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about some of the cheaper stuff that people can do, right?
Yeah.
Well, the paint.
The paint is one of the most cheapest ones. If you just paint your...
Yeah, that powder, so just to explain, you're talking about Sommative paint.
Yeah.
So you get a bag of powder, you go to your local paint shop and you ask them to mix it in, right? They'll do it.
Yeah, you can do it yourself.
You can even do it yourself.
You can, but it's not as good because I've tried it.
No.
So, I'm just saying.
I agree.
I'm just being practical for everybody, right?
Okay, good.
It will change the color of your paint a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to let you know. And you don't need. They don't need to do every wall. You could just get a small bag and do as much as you want because it's all helping, right?
You can do a ceiling.
Do a ceiling. Yeah.
And if you want, if you're worried about the coloring, then you can do it in, you can do 2 layers with less.
Do it as an undercoat.
Yeah.
But use your common sense. But we've used it. I've got it in a bedroom here. We've got it in the center. That's a great thing. Cheaper things, because I know people always go, "Oh, it's right for you. We've not got the money." But you can get cheap linen sheets for your bed.
Yeah,
linen,
absolutely,
linen is a massive upgrade because people are sleeping on polyester.
Yeah.
And
they're walking on polyester. So.
I know. Well, don't even get me started.
This actually, Mark, on that topic, is it's the blankets that are made, which hold QELBY. They actually have to be made from polyester, which was one of the things where we're like, come on. But the energy
to hold it in,
yeah.
But you can have a QELBY thing on top of you, can't you? I've got an Orgonite blanket, for example, which is sheep's wool metal. It costs. You can make this yourself, guys, for 10 quid if you've got a bit of sewing skills, or take it to somebody who has. Or you can buy them on Etsy for 100 quid. I mean, they're very interesting. But sorry to interrupt you, but there's always going to be somebody saying, yeah, but. So, for example, with the Orgonite blanket, a friend of mine said, well, the problem with that is you can't stop it and you can overcharge. And I'm like this, it's the same. It's the same with the grounding bed sheet. You can put that in, but then somebody said to me the other day, yeah, but if you're sticking it into ground that's got bad energy, then you're getting the bad energy. And I was like, oh. It's just there's always.
You can get. It's similar to sunlight. So the sunlight in the morning is very good. Sunlight in the afternoon is very good. Spend 20 minutes in there. You can look straight in the sun because we need the energy of the sun to mix with our water to feel good. If you're going to do that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you expose yourself, your complete body. You obviously will burn. Putting then a toxic chemical on you to protect yourself and think you're protected is actually the complete stupid wrong way, because you put a chemical in it and it will actually burn your skin. And so it's also common sense. So when you lose the common sense on doing stuff that you think naturally are done, then obviously you're not going to win. But coming back to the bedroom and sleep, because obviously besides whatever you do in your bedroom, the main part should be sleeping. And sleeping is the number one by 80% of healing. Sleep is vitally important to your health. Mm-hmm. And sleeping in an environment where you have ventilation, you have linen sheets, you have a good energy field, you're protected from all the radiation, you got your copperware, you got your water going, then you can sleep for 4 to 8 hours, because your first 4 or 5 hours are just to do nothing. It's just to bring your body in a state of healing. And a lot of people forget that the last 3-4 hours are the healing stages. That's where you recover, and that's how you get better. I mean, in the hospitals 100 years ago, you get a linen sheet. All the sheets were linen.
Yep, and the bandages. Because they heal.
The bandages,
and
everything.
You would be on the roof lying in the sun. Actually.
So in the next few months, we will put. We are now sourcing a few factories in the north of France that have become producing pure linen again.
Though,
The
you
old
know,
way.
next to across from the healing center on the river,
Yeah.
that was a linen mill for hundreds of years.
They are
anymore.
still there, but they're not operational anymore.
No, I know, it's crazy. And you know, people are going to want to say linen is expensive. There are places you can get linen that's not expensive. Buy it from
and
India.
we're all working for it now. We're all working to bring these things back, because people, those that are becoming more aware, you know, we all are looking for. So volumes will go up and prices will go down.
But you know, but this is also part of the con, right? So I want to stick to the subject, but you've triggered a thought, and that is that I've been trying. I'm considering bringing out a range of high frequency clothing based on materials, right? So linen is 5,000 hertz, polyester, nylon is 15. It's night and day. One heals you, one destroys you, and it's really simple. But if you look,
unless you put somatids in it, and this is what really that is where
I'm still not going near polyester and nylon, regardless.
No, but this is where it's great, because the first thing that we found is that the QELBY blankets and the QELBY fabrics are made mostly polyester, but logically, because it has to be held by the polyester, because his thinking is probably, we don't know, but is that it has to last for a lifetime. Whereas
his thinking will be cheap and easy to produce and does the job that it needs to do, which is hold it into place. I'm going to tell you the story about what I've been trying to do, because I've been I want to make a film about walking up mountains. There's a few mountains that I've walked up in the past, and anyway, but when I was training in the 80s and going up I did a lot of mountain climbing when I was young. And everything I wore from top to bottom was natural. It was wool, it was linen, it was merino wool, it was cotton, it was canvas, it was leather, it was metal, it was all natural. And if you try to go to an outdoor shop today, it's all plastic. Completely. And then things like Gore-Tex are completely terrible for your health. They don't breathe at all. They actually damage your health. You know, it's extraordinary. And trying to find, for example, if you search on Google for like organic clothing, what you will find is a load of bullshit. You'll get sustainable clothing, sustainable with recycled polyester mixed in with linen and mixed in with other things.
We have this yoga center next to us, and we see all these ladies, you know, doing healthy yoga, and then they're walking in these polyester leggings.
These polyester leggings are really killing you. You see all these yoga chicks in polyester, you walk them around, because then even if they don't do yoga, they still walk around in it. It's so toxic and it's so bad for your veins. It's so bad for your skin to walk around all day in these pants. I mean, a half an hour to an hour of yoga is it. But now you see girls of, well, whatever age. I mean, also girls that shouldn't be wearing those tight, whatever. But the thing is, if you wear the whole day, you are just a vacuum.
You're destroying your energy.
Destroying everything. No,
but that's what I mean about everything. Everything's like, you know, it's a bit of a joke in the spiritually awake community. It's like you can't eat anything, you can't do anything, you can't go, because everything's a compromise to some degree. And they've worked very hard with the fashion industry and music industry and everything else to convince us we've got to look a certain way, and we don't want to. And vanity becomes a huge part of it. And loads of spiritually awake people I know wear fake tan, which is terrible, wear makeup, which is made of shit, wear polyester clothes because they look good, and they're completely missing the point.
Exactly. Yeah. It's similar to wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, I gave those up years ago.
I was actually, you were putting their shades up. So
they're not shades, look. They're pinhole glasses.
They're for your eyes to get better eyesight.
To get better eyesight. So
they're just really horrible to wear.
You
go like.
Put away my glasses 1.5 years ago, Mark, and I'll never put them back on. Never, ever.
So it's also
these ones.
For screens.
Yeah.
You got the blue and the red and the.
The only problem with these are like pedo glasses. That's why I don't like wearing them.
Yeah, no,
it's like Jimmy
they
Savile
make you look. They make you look.
It did remind me of someone. Yes.
Well, it's Bono. Bono wears them. Jimmy Savile. It's part of the club. Do you know, I have a theory about that. I have a theory that those glasses that they wear mean they can identify the other reptiles.
Okay.
Oh, no, nice one. You know how
You don't need that. You don't need that.
You know how to recognize color? What color is? Actually, the color that you see is the reason your brain is actually fading out all the other colors. So the UV registration works like that. So you see the color red, and it's actually because all the other colors are blended away, and that's why you see red. It's actually fascinating how you're.
Did you lose him? Did you lose him at hello or?
No, you lose me at hello. So it's like.
Yeah, you got me.
But it's interesting what you said, because yes, the poisoning goes on. I mean, it's like I actually wrote it down. I said, why do they call it still water? And you order a bottle of water, it's still. Well, it's actually standing still. So you do an experiment at home. You leave a glass of water out there for 48 hours, and you drink it. You know then what still water is, and it has no vitality, no energy, no nothing, and it tastes horrible, and there's nothing in there. So you need to vitalize, you need to move, same like your body, you need to move. If you stop moving, you die, you just disintegrate.
Thank you, Gary Keeley, for getting me to run again. So
has he got you running?
Yeah.
Yes, no, it's great. It's quite funny.
Made me buy a 4,000 quid electric bike that I hardly ever use. He promised me he would take me cycling with him, and I was like, all right, I'll get it if we're going. And not once has he invited me for a cycle ride. Thanks, man.
Is it too slow for him?
Well, exactly. He's like, yeah, it'll be too slow for me. I'll be dragging him along. He doesn't. Yeah. I know how his mind works.
Yeah, and then the part of the things we offer as well is obviously the frequency, and frequency can be brought in music or in beats or whatever.
Well, let's talk about the holographic.
You need a system. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You need a system that can bring natural sound, and doesn't pressurize it by electricity, but brings it as most natural. So similar to standing next to a waterfall, you hear a lot of noise, but you don't feel the pressure. That's the best explaining what that sound system does. So you stand next to the waterfall, you actually feel the energy of the water. There's an enormous sound, but you don't feel the pressure on your ears. And that's what the sound system does. Obviously, it then depends on what type of music you play, because we know your favorite music will put you in a relaxed and nice stage. But if you play certain music at a certain frequency, you start resonating. And if you play certain music towards your organs, because they resonate also on a different frequency, then you get the two waves coming together, and when they come together, they double. And that's where your healing effect starts. So sleeping in a room that's prepared to heal or prepared to feel you relaxed and recover, it's going to make an enormous difference. So we focus indeed on not so much people that can afford it, no, but people that need it, like sports people.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of top sport guys now looking into these type of recovery things, like treatments, like what's that golfer?
Justin Rose. Justin Rose, who's in the Ryder Cup. He's using a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. He's using red light.
It's all the stuff using what you do.
They're all starting to use the stuff that we're now that we all of us.
Yeah, but it's like going back to that point about you've got to understand it, then experience it, or then you've got to experience it to understand it. Because the biggest problem we have is the educational side of it. I've told you the oxygen story, haven't I? Have I told you the oxygen story? The guy that came up to me in the street and said, "What's that you're doing over there?" And I said, "Hyperbaric oxygen therapy." And he went, "Oxygen? What's that?" It's like, oh shit! This is an uphill curve.
That's like half of the water.
But I'm bringing this up as an example. So I've just shown everybody a picture of the holographic speakers that we got off you. We've got them in the center. We put them in the Sansa Penth room, and people go in there and have a really nice experience, but they don't fully understand what's happening to them. And even if
they don't have to, actually, they don't have to necessarily, but
well,
this is a real challenge. This is a real challenge.
They do, because if they did understand, there'd be a queue around the block.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're getting this incredible healing without knowing anything about what it is, and we're basically giving it away, and it's like,
But this is Mark. This is where it's frustrating for initially, but we've come to recognize that really people are ready when they're ready, and I mean all this stuff that we're doing, these sort of podcasts, bringing the stuff out, it changes a number of people, but I think it's just you can't push these things. This is the difficult part of it.
Well, no, well, that's why we do these conversations, because it helps everybody get a bit deeper into these things. Because I think we've covered a lot of stories and instances where it's the level of consciousness. There's a professor of.
Can I just on the Mecco system, right? I literally
on this holographic sound system.
Yeah, on the holographic sound system. I mean, literally, personally, everybody that has sound system, they all have a sound system. It should be a natural sound system.
Yeah, agreed.
That's how it should be. I mean, it should be. It is the best quality and it's healing. And yet, we've probably sold 10.
Right. No, that's interesting. That's interesting because you see, I'm not the kind of person that would go and spend £20,000 on a sound system, but I actually know people that do.
Yeah.
And if you got an expensive sound system and you're in the market for a new one, get the holographic one. That's what
and it's not even 20,000.
And this is actually Mark. Why we as Dragonfly, we're now really said, okay, listen, we're seeing the top sports people. They are the ones that now are starting. I mean, Djokovic is doing fascial maneuvers from human garage. I'm actually becoming a coach for that, which is an amazing way to help people heal themselves. You can see Djokovic. You can see Justin Rose having red light therapy in his camper. So now is the time that they are starting to move into. They're starting to recognize that this does something, and it's really counterintuitive, but we've really decided to go, okay, let's just focus on the people that are conscious. That's why we've now said Dragonfly for conscious people. If you're not conscious, don't come in. There's no point, waste of time. And also focus on the people that actually can buy it. But we're talking about the Mecco system, right? Because that is expensive. Yeah. But at the same time, and now we're coming back to every people's house is, you can do very, very simple things in your bedroom to make it very high energy.
I can go in 3 or 4 directions with that sentence, but anyway, go on.
No, but that's that's the whole spectrum. So we're seeing that the people that have the money and luxury hotels, top sports people, they are now, and health centers, obviously. They are now moving, but a lot of this stuff is still, like you said, people don't understand it. The people out on the streets, they don't understand it yet.
Are you guys watching? I'm going to make these guys give me a special discount code and put a link under the video if you want to go and look at all their stuff and get any of it. That's all right with you?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah. No, it's
we know.
We generally think discount is like saying that we're cheating people because it's not worth the money. But we understand the system. We understand the system.
No, make it available.
I'm putting you in front of a very enlightened, lovely audience, and they deserve a little.
We know that, Mark. We know that,
we
Mark.
love you. We love you.
I love you too. But let's focus a little bit more on the bedroom then. So we've got grounding shit. I mean, I interviewed a guy who was responsible for the fire report after the thing that happened in London 8 or 9 years ago when the Grenfell Tower, and he said that most of the people in that fire died because of the poisons that were in the mattresses, right? So people don't understand how toxic their mattresses are, and that body heat actually activates the formaldehyde and stuff, and is especially in kids' mattresses, which is another false part of the full spectrum attack. How do people mitigate against all that stuff? Because most people watching this know that the carpets are toxic, the paints are toxic, the light.
Light is the other one. I mean,
I have a red light bulb in my bedroom.
Right, absolutely. You can put in red light lamps. But the other thing that I really think, you're going back to Schauberger, is when you create a high energy, even though there is some toxic stuff there. Yeah. It will lose its effect. This is literally what I think a vitalizer does, where by changing the chlorine. I mean, and it is actually the vortex that does that. I think mostly. So by putting in like QELBY paint, so the powder, and you just paint your room. If you put in the high energy, then the effect of everything toxic that is there will be reduced, if not negated.
Well, this is a big thing that I want to share with everybody. You know, when we were doing the center originally, I was like, oh, we need to get in EMF blocking paint. And then we sat and thought about it and discussed it deeply. And it was like, well, actually, the problem with that is if any EMFs are in the room, they're going to be trapped in the room. And then it's going to be worse. And can you really block everything? Because there's windows and there's gaps. So
there is no closed system. There is no closed system.
Precisely. It's like you know, and I'm not a fan of like being so paranoid that you sleep in a Faraday cage and stuff like that. Because I'm very similar to you in that respect, that I've always been like, I don't give a shit about 5G. It's good for me. I don't, you know, and I've never suffered from it, but I know other people who are terrified of it who actually get the symptoms.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what
that's how illness starts. That's how your illness starts.
Belief.
Yeah. It's always mind over matter.
It is. But we are here to be the bridges and help out. I think how much does a bag of summited powder normally cost, and what was it, you know, if somebody wants to do 1 tin of paint on a ceiling, what's that going to cost them?
A ceiling is probably going to cost them, I think, 50 euros.
50 euros.
Yeah, 50 euros, I think, something like that. And probably 100 if you want to do a double layer. I mean, the summitids work in the way that if you put more on, then the energy is higher. So
who are you calling a moron? I'm in one of those moods there. I've been out.
He always calls me a moron. It's me.
I'm drinking my summited water. I've been for a walk in the woods. I've got my grounding boots on. I've got my testosterone and my testosterone and my wild yam cream on. I'm firing on all cylinders today. We've spent an hour.
You're a walking laboratory. You are.
Well, I am, but we've done an hour. We've done an hour and 20 minutes because there's three of us, and it's a high energy chat. And I think it's really been a great chat. And thank you so much. And you guys watching. I'll put the link underneath, and I'll force them to give me a discount code. Go and get some summited powders, mix it with some paint, and try it in a bedroom if you can, because that's got to be good, hasn't it? Because that's where you sleep for 8 hours. And what they I think the key takeaway. I know it's taken us 90 minutes to get there, but the key takeaway is if you put something high energy in a space, back to the work of Schauberger and everybody else, that will affect everything in that room.
Which is why actually those blankets that we have, those are summited blankets, they really do work. And although they're polyester, I did have a few questions about those from people. So this is where I think ideally you want it in linen, but it really does. I mean, we see the testimonials, and it really does work. So
well, I know there's going to be people watching this saying that will agree with you, and then some will agree
and disagree, and that's fine.
We'll answer all the questions.
That's all fine.
All the questions.
No, people only have to. This is where we don't sell. We really don't sell. You only have people that come here that resonate with the stuff that we have. They buy, but it's not. Everybody's different, and that's perfectly fine.
Well, good, and great to speak to you both, and enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah.
Give our love to Gary.
I will. Not all of it.
No. Keep some for yourself.
I'll see you later, guys. Thanks, everybody.
And your lovely partner.
Thank you very much.
Shut up. See you later.
Great seeing you again, and great talking to you again.
Okay.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you.